Hello, everybody. So HIMS stock is up 13% today, if you include market hours and after hours. What's going on? Are the shorts covering? Is there a pre-Q1 earnings release run? We're going to talk about that today. But yes, HIMS is up above $29, and so that's worth a video. This is a major movement for HIMS. As you know, I have described HIMS, I have defined it as a punching bag for Mr. Market, and this punching bag can go up and it can go down. And of course, are the shorts covering? Well, I think it's part of the thesis that the shorts could be covering. You can see the short float is 35% as of the last time this was reported. 35% float. A lot of people are asking me what I think is going to happen on earnings, and usually I don't follow stocks quarterly. I'm a long-term investor. I don't get into the nitty-gritty quarter after quarter because I'm not trying to place a trade around earnings. I think, though, your best source to get your odds to know whether HIMS is going to beat or not is Polymarket. Polymarket saying a 79% chance that HIMS is going to beat earnings. But here's the thing, whether HIMS beats or doesn't beat, the stock could go up or down, and it's totally random. It's entirely random. How many stocks have we seen in the past 5 years who consistently beat earnings, yet the stock sells off? The market always tries to find a reason as to why stocks sell off other than randomness. But in my view, the process is largely random. If someone wants to bet on earnings, it's probably a better way to bet on earnings by just having an outcome contract and actually betting on the outcome. You know, is the EPS higher or lower than analyst expectations? Just betting on that, because there is no guarantee what the market's reaction is going to be whatsoever. They could say something off on the call, and you can't predict what they'll say on the call, and the market may love something they say on the call or not like it at all. I can tell you what I want to see, though. I see Andrew Dudum here talking about questions being sent at investors@forhims.com. I surely hope a question will be asked about the AI initiatives. I have grown my confidence in AI doctors so much, and I believe AI doctors are a way of the future. I believe actually human doctors can be an impediment to the quality of the recommendation that an AI doctor is able to give. And my take on this is I think Dudum thinks the same way. That's why they launched this first AI care agent, an AI agent that walks on your labs and deciphers your labs. Well, that sure sounds like a doctor that does physicals to me. It sure sounds like that. It sure sounds like you get a physical, usually they order your labs, and then they usually want you to come back to discuss your labs. Sometimes they give you a phone call if they're not rent seekers, but if they're rent seekers, they're like, oh, you need to come back in to discuss the lab because they want to get another $250. HIMS is replacing that by an agent. That helps decipher the lab results. And I think AI is a big opportunity for HIMS. Creating simulations of us with our labs, with the 1,000 data points that they get through the labs, cross-section, but also longitudinally over the years, and being able to predict things that may go wrong a few years into the future thanks to all of the time series data that they get on your health. Not sure you call it like that, but at least that's the explanation I have. You know, creating sort of a digital twin. I think AI is going to be enormous in the field of healthcare, and I'm so happy to see Andrew go into that direction. I hope there will be a lot of questions on the call about AI. What a few people are asking or are saying online, though, and you know, there's a lot of sarcastic takes online. It's like some people are saying, I don't get why HIMS is up today because Macquarie being out is actually a bad thing because we might actually get a FDA commissioner that understands what an FDA-approved drug is. And of course, I think it's the bears saying that. A lot of people dislike HIMS, and the crux of the issue, of course, is compounding, right? We know that Macquarie was very much anti-compounding, and we know that he had bias against HIMS. part of the reason why compounding is mostly gone for HIMSS is when Macquarie referred, or at least the FDA, right? I don't know who did it over there, but referred them to the DOJ. You remember that whole madness? I made a whole video about it. I'm sure a lot of bulls sold on that day, right? It was a very scary time for HIMSS. I didn't sell. I still have all of my HIMSS, so I'm not too upset about it. But I'm sure a lot of people are very upset about this, and so they're happy to see Macquarie go, because if he goes, that means that at least we could have a neutral person that actually is going to be at the FDA. What I know for sure is that Macquarie had not been neutral in the past. He had been very, very much against HIMSS in the past, hence the referral to the DOJ. And this whole definition is compounding. It's all about compounding. Right now, we have a compounding GLP-1 crackdown in full swing, and for sure. There are companies that play with the compounding laws and use that as an excuse to make essentially a copycat of an approved FDA drug, and then that's a violation of the law. But in my view, there's also very legitimate cases where compounding is useful, and that's the whole point of HIMSS. And I believe eventually most drugs will need to be custom. I fundamentally believe in AI-designed medication. One unique individual, one unique medication. And so compounding is essential for that, right? Unfortunately, you had a lot of bad actors who just added a little bit of B12 in some sort of appeal and say, oh, they needed B12, and then boom, all of a sudden you can knock off an approved patent. I fundamentally believe HIMSS was not doing that. Now, they're not going to court, so we will not find out. But I think the odds of us getting a more nuanced FDA commissioner, or at least an FDA commissioner who doesn't really have an opinion against HIMSS, I think is very, very bullish. So to me, this news about Macquarie is actually bullish. And I know a lot of bears are saying, how is this a good news? Yes, this is a good news, because we knew for sure that HIMSS was referred to the DOJ under him. We knew that for sure. The new one, we're going up to the lottery again. We don't know again. We could have someone who's very, very, very positive. We could have someone who's neutral. We could have someone who has no opinion about this business model. Which my guess is many people who would get into that role may not have that big of an opinion, because that's not so central to the role. So anyways, I think this is a pretty bullish news. But of course we don't know about these things. So that's my take on this. I'm very happy to see the stock up, but like I said, the day-to-day moves really don't matter to me. This is all about the long run for HIMSS. I'm a very long-term holder of this stock. Been in it for a long time now, so it doesn't faze me anymore, the news about HIMSS. This was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is not health advice. This is not FDA advice. This is not drug advice. This is only entertainment. Only entertainment. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me next. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.